You're listening to the Quint's podcast.
Life should move on, said the Supreme Court almost 10 days back as it dismissed petitions to postpone the JEE and the NEET entrance exams. But there's no end to demands from students and parents to not conduct these exams on the scheduled dates in September. And joining them now are politicians from across parties, from Rahul and Sonia Gandhi to Mamata, Banerjee and Uddhav Thackerey, who all want to approach India's top court again to postpone these exams. On 26th August, in fact, Congress's interim president Sonia Gandhi hosted an online meeting with state chief ministers, including West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, Punjab Chief Minister Amarinder Singh, Hemant Soren from Jharkhand, and Chhattisgarh CM Bhupesh Baghel to help the engineering and medical aspirants of the country who are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. While some suggested that they approach the court, some others suggested that a delegation should be sent to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But even as the debate rages on, #postpone JEE and NEET exams and #anti-student Modi government are trending online. And now students are planning a protest on 27th August from their homes with black flags, black bands on their arms or foreheads, wear black masks and turn their profile pictures black. On its part, the National Testing Agency or the NTA has assured that all precautionary measures will be in place during the course of these exams. Meanwhile, there are also those who are asking, if not now, then when? How long do we keep postponing these exams for? If not conduct them in September, what are the alternative suggestions? In this podcast, we'll bring to you views of some NEET and JEE aspirants, and you'll also hear from PJ Narayanan, the director of IIT Hyderabad. You're tuned into The Big Story, the podcast where we dissect the headline-making news for you. And I'm your host, Shorbury. Even as the Ministry of Education remains firm on its stand of conducting these exams in September, as I've said, a lot of opposition leaders are siding with those students who want to postpone it. In the virtual meeting, the opposition leaders shared the opinion that the problems of the students were being dealt uncaringly by the centre and that holding these exams would not only be a logistical nightmare, but also potentially lead to the spread of COVID-19. Now, the Education Ministry has said that the safety of students comes first and exams later, but also that there was a long-standing demand from students and teachers to conduct these exams. To minimize the risk of coronavirus infections, the NTA has planned on increasing the number of examination centres, have alternate seating plans and fewer candidates per room, and they've also released guidelines for candidates. Students appearing for these exams will have to wear masks and hand gloves and carry a personal bottle of water and a hand sanitizer to the exam centres. To avoid crowding at the examination centre, students will be given staggered time slots for entry and exit. There'll also be thermal scanners and isolation rooms for those who have higher body temperatures. Candidates will also have to maintain a 6 feet distance from each other. So these are some of the rules in place to ensure contactless exams. However, a chorus of students are protesting against it. Now, these are very high-pressure exams, much like the board exams in the country. Typically, depending on the outcome of these exams, students pick their careers, engineering for JEE and medical for NEET. And those who were set to appear for these entrance exams are worried about what will happen if they're compelled to skip it. As far as the complaints go, they echo the concerns previously raised in the context of board exams, undergraduate and postgraduate exams. These are concerns of how will students travel, where will they stay, what about those with comorbidities, and also the fact that for some students this year may be their last permissible attempt at these exams. Hear it from Arushi Sarangi, a NEET aspirant.
We have been given separate slots for entering the exam hall to avoid crowding, but there is no such slot for leaving the exam hall, which means we can all imagine the kind of crowd that will be there. Also, there are so many exam centers. What is the guarantee that in each of these exam centers, these measures will be followed properly? The ex-director of AIIMS and the director of IIT Delhi have both claimed that they can make adjustments to their academic calendar, and it's very much possible by cutting down holidays and probably taking extra classes too. The exams take place in September. It will be a huge mass injustice to students and their families too. For many people, this is their last attempt, and it is not their fault that they would be missing the exam either because they have the COVID infection or because of fear.
There's also another side of the argument. It is that students are also missing out on precious academic session due to this pandemic. Some point out that they've already missed out on a whole semester and ask, what is the guarantee on the fact that these exams can be conducted at a later period if not now, given the way infections are ever increasing? This is what JEE aspirant Aniket Mishra says.
Those who want postpone, can they give in return? That the situation of COVID in November and December are better. SOPs are made by the NTA, but implementation will be done by the student. If the students are not implementing, then what can be the NTA can do? We have lost already one semester. Remember, one semester. Now, and if we going to conduct the exam in November and December, maybe the full academic year are waste. Due to floods or any transportation issue, if a student can't reach the exam center, so authority should plan a special exam for the student, and the admission process should be special.
So then, what is the way out of this deadlock? We know education has been hampered since the lockdown began, forcing the sector to seek alternate routes. While in some cases it meant online exams, in others it meant internal assessments. PJ Narayanan, the director of IIT Hyderabad, says although unfortunately these exams do not have a multi-dimensional evaluation, it's imperative to conduct them.
I think we are in a situation where if the country is in a situation not only due to COVID, even earlier, that we have one or two very high pressure exams that decide everything, which is a very precarious. Everybody is in precarious situation, because if that exam doesn't get held like this year, or an individual falls sick on that morning of NEET, is done. Your medical dream is done for that year at least, and there are also restrictions on number of times you can write and so on. So unfortunately, we don't have a multidimensional evaluation of students, but a single dimensional evaluation, which is, there may be reasons for it, but that's where we are. And in such a situation, these exams, the JEE, Main, NEET, etc., are the only way forward for this year. We cannot change anything for this year. And we should think of getting the exams conducted as soon as possible, because things are not going to get better than today in the next 6 months, 8 months, whatever. Depending on whom you ask, you will get different numbers, but it does seem that things are not going to get any better for at least 6 months. In which case, today is probably better than tomorrow to conduct these exams. And that's how things are happening in most places. So I think we should get these exams done.
Can the government afford to declare this academic year as a zero year like the protesting students are suggesting? Or are there any alternate propositions to ensure that students don't lose out on an academic year whilst also safeguarding their lives? Mr. Narayanan says that the NTA could hold one session per day instead of two and spread the exams out. This would avoid overcrowding.
My view is we have to conduct these exams in this time frame only, because we are not going to get any better. Now, given that is the case, how can you make it as safe as possible for everybody involved, so that there is no crowding? The last year, whenever exams were conducted, similar exams were conducted in Karnataka or Kerala and all that. The complaint was, they kind of do all that is possible for the exams for social distancing and all the COVID safety measures. But what happens is these exams create a large crowd outside the exam center, travel, parents and others accompanying them, and that is beyond the control of any exam setters. And that could be, you could have some children coming alone to write the exam, some have 3-4 people coming with them. So, and some have to travel 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers from the rural areas to write these exams. Some of it, if there are measures by which you can reduce that kind of thing. One thing I can think of to conduct this exam, one session per day. Now the plan is 2 sessions per day, the morning session and afternoon session. JEE mains, I'm talking about only JEE main, which I'm more familiar with.
Yeah.
And as a result, 5 days, 10 sessions. If you can do it even 10 days, one session per day, there will be a little bit crowding less in transportation, etc. And if you can do it even, give 1 day gap, it's probably even better. This kind of even NEET, instead of making it a single sitting, if there is a way, they have 2 equivalent question papers and make it 2 sittings or 4 sittings over 4 days. Things like that. If then there is a visible or a solid concrete reduction in the risk.
Secondly, instead of declaring a 0 year, Mr. Narayanan says that the Education Ministry could provide concessions for those who are on their final attempt. He says all these restrictions on how many shots students get at these exams can be and should be loosened this year.
Secondly, there may be individuals who are not able to write this year due to whatever reason, due to this time, or that time turns out to be very bad in their family, or they cannot travel or something. And people are talking about 0 year academic year, and that is not feasible. That's not fair on all those who can be in the system. But you can declare a 0 year for the entrance exam from these kind of things. I think JEE main you can write only twice consecutively. The year you graduate and the next year. That's the maximum number of times you can write. That can be relaxed. For that, maybe this year it doesn't count at all. But such concessions will help several people who have been put to discomfort because of this COVID situation. So such things are very well within the hands of the MHRD or JEE system people. That should definitely be done, whether we are conducting it now or later, because it's not a normal year. There's no point in applying all those restrictions like it's a normal year.
If you like listening to this episode, please subscribe to the Big Story playlist for episodic updates. We're live on Apple, Google Podcast, Spotify, JioSaavn, and most of the other popular podcast streaming platforms. For other podcasts, please log on to the Quint website and check out the podcast section. For any feedback, shoot an email to podcasts@thequint.com.
Thanks for listening. Log on to the Quint's website and check out our other podcasts.